Alright, we are going to be taking a look here at the World Cup 2018 Blood Bowl 2 World Cup brackets. So the other day I kind of went over with it Jimmy Fantastic, but I think I didn't really make myself too clear on some of the stuff here, and I was kind of pounding through it, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go through it again just to make everything a little bit more clear, I think. So here we are going to take a look at the first round brackets. Alright, so I haven't picked anyone yet. I normally do predictions, and I do believe that we're going to just once again just look at some of the teams, not all of them. Some of these I believe that is going to be a fairly easy pick for me. Just let's see here. Just to take a quick look here though of, let's see here, the Wood Elf team. Alright, so the first bracket there, Stringabell versus Drake. Stringabell being a pretty darn good North American coach, and is going to be playing against Drake, another good coach from the consoles. And I have seen him play before, but a little bit of a joke team though, Dark Elf team with an assassin, so wasn't really representative of his strength. But he's gonna have a pretty darn good looking Wood Elf team. Let's go ahead and just take a look here at it. So he is gonna have tackle and strip ball, and then a kick catcher. Pretty interesting that he kind of went with a kick catcher. But he will have the leader for the 2 rerolls and the apothecary. So even though there has been a bunch of Wood Elf mirror teams, not mirror teams, but a bunch of Wood Elf teams in the league, I have to say that just about, not every one of them, but a good bit of them are going to be different from one another. Let's see here, so tackle, strip ball. I like the kick so that it kind of helps maybe if you get some type of failed pickup rolls, or you know, you kick it short, you can kick it long, wherever you need to go. This is pretty nice stuff here. I don't know if it would have been one that I would have chosen for one of the 4 skills, but definitely one is pretty useful. And of course, Stringer Bell here. Let's see there. I think it's best if I just looked at the team name. So let's see here, Zeitgeist. Probably easier just to do that. So the nice thing about Necros, as we have seen, you kind of have to sacrifice something to get what you want, in terms of either you want 2 werewolves, and you kind of want the full complement here. As you can see, no sure hands ghoul, which is going to be something that Drake can definitely take advantage of with this strip ball. True Blue. USA! USA! Yeah! That's definitely going to be here today. And Stringabell is from the US as well, so how can you deny? But of course, I do know how he plays. He's a very strong player, takes the risk whenever needed to. I mean, just going to be a tough man to beat. So I think Stringabell should be able to take this first game despite the strip ball War Dancer. I mean, not to say that it's a done deal, and not to say that Drake can't win, obviously, but of course we're choosing winners and losers there, and I'm just gonna go with the coach right there. Stringabell should be able to win that one, so let's go ahead and choose him up. Next up here is Striker OD taking on Noru. Noru being a Rebull coach, and actually would have qualified with 2 World Cup tickets, taking on Striker OD, who interestingly enough has a a death roller on the sideline, or perhaps on the pitch. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's take a look here at, just real quick, at the team. It's so cool. Let's see here. The Purple Mountains Majesty. I love it. I even love the name. Striker OD's Purple Mountain Majesties. The Death Roller! Of course, with the 4 skills, definitely need to get the 2 blizzards with the guard, and then gonna have a block runner for those pesky wood elves with the blodge and strip ball madness and tackle and all these other terrible things that you have to worry about. But won't be needing that against the high elf team. We'll also have a troll slayer with the mighty blow. So I really like this team a lot. If you were gonna go with Death Roller, then this is it. But the only thing, of course, is will you level up and then give it to the Death Roller? Because obviously when you play the game, there are no inducements that you can get. So you can't get a bribe, and there are no deficits in team value whatsoever. So you can't get a bribe, you can't keep the Death Roller in there, and there are no stadium inducements as well. So one of those things in which the Death Roller, although it can definitely do some damage, it could be one in which you maybe lose out on the break tackle and the skills and all these rest of the beautiful skills and mighty blow, juggernaut, dirty player, all this great stuff. But I mean, it is definitely one to be reckoned with. And of course the person who has to go against them, of course, is Noru. And of course he's not going to pull up by the name. We got to put in the name real quick, which is going to be, let's see here, Super Sentai Elf. Coached by Noru, so again, a pretty tough coach. But I think unluckily for the high elf team, it's gonna be could be hit or miss. And unfortunately, Dwarves does come in here with a tackle, so can deal with any of the blodgers or even the dodge catcher here. And does have a wrestle catcher to deal with maybe some of the bashes, but it's going to be tough for them to bash back. We'll have 3 team rerolls because of the leader. No APO. So this is going to be tough. On the field itself, on the pitch, the high elves, if they don't get murdered, then they have a chance to win. But obviously, the dwarves is just going to have a little bit more of the favor right there. So, of course, Striker OD has my vote right there. So, if you check out the round 2, then I'm saying it's going to be Striker Bell versus Striker OD. So, Necros versus the Dwarven team. Now, Death Roller, although great, it may not be as great against the Necromancy team because of the Necromancer. They don't need to buy an Apothecary. They just get one inherent, basically. And, I mean, it's just going to be one of those games where if Stringer Bell can really make it past the Wood Elf Onslaught on the ball carrier, then that Blodge, Ghoul, and then whatever he's going to choose for his next skill, likely to help him against this Dwarven player, then it's going to be something that the Dwarven team may not be able to handle. So the not semi-final, but the round 2 brackets is likely going to go to the Stringer Bell. But who knows, right? I mean, that's just going to be a little bit of nuffling, I guess. You know, it's going to be one in which you can't really decide on what you want to go with. And Stringer Bell, again, should be able to have a little bit of an easier time going through. Now, the only thing here is that this bracket's, if I was kind of judging and looking at this going into the quarterfinals, in which a lot of coaches do want to make it to, because that is definitely where the action, where you're getting closer to the action, semifinals, championship rounds. I mean, those are going to be played live on Twitch, so hundreds of people are going to be watching, if not thousands, maybe up to 1,000. I think the last World Cup we had about a good 1,000 watching, on average about 600 people. But I mean, one of those things in which you have to believe that you want to make it up to. Of course, in the round of 3, I believe, in the top 16 is going to be the money. So every coach wants to make it to at least round 3 to get $250. But obviously, more than that, that's where they really want to go. And of course, since I am one of the official casters, yes, I do have to give a shout out to Aces, Republic of Gamers, Cyanide, Focus Home for all of this. We definitely couldn't have this tournament without Aces sponsorship, so thank you so much for that. Next up though, taking a look here at G'day Nick against Wolfbark. Let me go ahead and find the team for G'day Nick. And I do know a little bit about Wolfbark. He has been a Champions Cup qualifier a bunch of times, but I don't know too much about G'day Nick. He does stream, but in the early in the early bits of the hour. And G'day Nick, let's go ahead and jump here to his team, Wood Elf team. He will start with the tree, and not only that, we'll have the blodge catcher with the tackle and the block war dancer. Pretty much these two skills right there, the war dancers, that's the staple right here. The strip ball tackle, those two are definitely going to be something that is almost always going to be good for just about every Wood Elf team. I think only one other Wood Elf team, or maybe two, went with something a little bit different. We'll talk about those a little bit later. Yeah, Wolfbark is pretty darn good. But G'day Nick, I mean, you just never know, right? I mean, let's see how Wolfbark handles the pressure. We'll take a look at his team. And it is going to be a undead team. And the Dusk of the Dead World Cup. And so we'll have an undead team. Nice thing about undead team, you're going to be able to get all your rerolls. Should be able to get a whole bunch of bench as well. We'll have zombies. We'll have 4 ghouls. Excuse me. We'll have the 4 ghouls and the blodge and then the Raj ghoul there. So pretty good stuff. And then the white would tackle, the other one would guard. I think obviously the thing that's going to be missing the most for this team is going to be the guard for the undead team. Obviously, just like the necromancy team, they kind of suffer from not having enough in the front line to deal with a lot of bashier teams. But that's where the mummy kind of makes up for it, where they get the 5 strength, right? And the inherent mighty blow. So likely the first doubles is going to go to the mummy, maybe get a block on one of those guys, but it's going to be one of those things here that could definitely maybe go with sure hands if he's going to be facing off against a crazy Wood Elf team on the next round as well. But I don't think that's going to be a possibility. And unfortunately, he's going to be facing up against a Wood Elf team in the first round. And again, it's going to be one of those things where, just like Stringer Bell, he's facing off against a Wood Elf team in the first round and doesn't have sure hands. And so the strip ball is going to be almost damning, I guess. But let's see here. G'day Nick is, let's see here, early. Oops, I'm typing here in no spot. The early. Yeah, so he does have the strip ball, so it's going to be one of those things where if you can hold on to the ball and you can make the score, then great. But obviously, you really need to take time out and kill this War Dancer. Otherwise, he's just going to keep jumping in there. He does have 3 rerolls and can get quite aggressive against Wolfbark. So, I mean, it's just going to be one of those things where Wolfbark is going to be up against it, and I really think that G'day Nick should be able to pull off this victory. I mean, Wolfbark, great coach, but I mean, can he survive? I just don't know. Does also have that 3 rerolls. That's the difference between Drick's team. He's got 2 rerolls for the leader and 3. Doesn't have the APO though, but Wolfbark, I mean, he put the tackle on the white, which is great, but no mighty blow tackle, and that could be the difference. So I think we're just gonna have to go with G'day Nick. Looking at 52% people like Wolfbark, but I mean, I'm just gonna go with that right there. 3 rerolls. G'day Nick can get quite aggressive and can try multiple times to get through, and 2 red die blocks, man, I'll do it any day of the week with my strip ball leap War Dancer. Now the first mirror matchup here, Andy Z versus Ungern. Ungern here, a pretty notable Champions Cup from the PC. Andy Z though, a fairly good coach from the Mad group. But I have to say, I think Ungern, I like him a little bit better just in the name. But you know, let's go ahead and just take a look here quickly at this mirror matchup. I do believe there is a difference between these two. So Marasso. Marasso expedition. Let's get an expedition. There we go. Of Andy Z's. Take away the brackets. And of course, we'll have the tackle and mighty blow 3 guard, but the block ogre. So that's going to be great with the 3 rerolls. No APO though. It's going to have the extra lineman to come in. So pretty interesting there. Good day, Nick. Oh, looks like he's saying, yay, have VGP backing me. Look at that. Well, I'm glad I'm backing you now because you're in the channel. But yeah, I mean, I didn't know you were in there. But these are going to be just unbiased picks, guys. As unbiased as possible. But yes, Andy Z has the nice natural. I think definitely this is a really solid lineup, right? I mean, we have seen it in the Invitational Cup, and one of those things in which you can't deny that the block ogre, cut down on your 1 and 9s if you can, if you're the human team. Definitely a tremendously good idea. Ungern will have his team there, and Rema C 8102, so I have no idea what that means. If anyone out there knows what that means, then please tell me. But definitely going to be a interesting team. Also, we'll have to tackle Mighty Blow, but instead of going with the block, went with the guard here for the ogre. And we'll have the APO, but the difference here, 2 rerolls from Ungern. That, my friends, is very risky. As I've said multiple times, humans live and die by the 1 and 9s, but they will definitely die if they cannot get another reroll out. So I am a bit skeptical, obviously. They go with the doubles with the guard catchers, so I mean, it's gonna a little bit outbash the 3 guard lineup of the other human team. But can he really make use of not getting nuffled, right? I mean, you're gonna do all your 2-die blocks with the blitzers if possible. Do all the blitzers coming in with the mighty blow tackle blitzer as well, but oh boy. Yeah, I mean, the guard on the catcher is nice, and that does give him an extra guard against the 3 guard lineup that is going to be the normal thing for the human teams out there. And so the 1 reroll less, that's what really scares me the most. I almost feel like if you're going with this lineup, go with the extra reroll, and then he's got the 13 right here, right? A lot of teams went with, what, 13, 14 human players and then dropped the APO. So why not just get the extra reroll and drop the APO for this lineup? Or either that, just drop the lineup and then get the extra reroll. I mean, just 1 extra piece was going to be all that's necessary. They were all 50k. Why not? I just don't understand this. But possibly thinking a little bit more to the long term, possibly thinking that, hey, getting 1 or 2 extra would be a little bit nice against maybe some of the kill teams out there. But I mean, how many kill teams are gonna honestly be out there? Not too many. So even though I do like Ungern, I'm gonna go with the guy that has the extra reroll. So there you have it. Right there. I mean, that right there was just a huge debate in my mind, but I think Andy Z will have the slightly better of it, even though I know Ungern a little bit more and a pretty strong coach. Veliopia taking on Parmenian. And of course, Veliopia, the Champions Cup winner in 15 with the human team. So, I mean, you gotta believe that taking that momentum into the World Cup, that's gotta be nice. And also still taking a human team. So that's also doubly nice. Proving that he can play with the human team. And not only that, but gonna have a nice, easier draw here in the Dark Elf team now. Dark Elves, no slouch. Definitely going to be one in which you have to watch out for agility. You can never count those guys out. Always a threat. Just take a look here real quick. at the Dark Baguettes of Parmenion. And coming into the scene, pretty hot and heavy. He's going to get the leader on the runner. That is definitely going to be quite normal. Going to have to wrestle Witch Oven. Definitely, as I've said in my cast with Jimmy, when the opening brackets, I said, look, if I was going to build a team, I was going to go just this right here. One Witch Elf lineup. And then go with the runner. Likely either the leader, accurate, or the Nerves of Steel. I mean, all of those skills, pretty good stuff. And I would have lived and died by 2 rerolls, but with 4 agility, you're not likely to do anything too risky besides those dodges, and hopefully with the armor 8s, you'll be okay in the long run. So I do like this Dark Elf team a lot, but against a human team of Parmenion, Bashia's team, Veliopia, and one of those guys in which can definitely play a human team, does have the block thrower as well as having the block ogre and 3 guard with the tackle blitzer. This is going to be pretty tough to deal with, and they can get outbashed, this Dark Elf team. And if the humans live up to their name here, the Bashia's team, they could outbash the Dark Elf team, and then after that just get a bunch of armor breaks and then win the game. And so I think in this case I'm gonna have to go with the Dark Elf team here. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm so used to going with the Dark Elves. I'm just a little bit biased, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the human team here with Veliopia. I mean, should be able to outbash Dark Elves. I mean, yes, the blodge piece is gonna be a little bit troublesome with 1 tackle blitzer, but one in which can be easily dealt with. Does have a block thrower and block ogre, so even if they are going to go down 1 or 2 pieces of thrower, still very much viable for the defensive side of the ball and can get those bashes out. So yeah, Veliopia's got my vote for this match here. Blade 2993, human team taking on Silsei of this undead team, Frankable Stars. And so taking a look at those 2 teams here, and quite honestly, but oh yes, let's look back though. So good day, Nick. That means he will be moving on to the second round brackets, and then Andy Z will be moving on in this estimation. So it's going to be one of those things in which I do like Good Day Nick's chances, but Andy Z does still have a thrower. But I think Good Day Nick will be able to move on past his brackets. If Ungern makes it, then it's going to be one of those games in which Good Day Nick will have a little bit more trouble, I think. But just given the skill here, I think Good Day Nick will have a little bit more of a better chance of making it into the round 3 and face off against a very strong Stringer Bell in the round of 3. And so that's my vote right there. And then of course Veliopia will be able to take the win. And then of course now take a look here at Blade 2993 Essex, the Essex Sabres, and then the Frankable Stars. Let's see here. So Essex Sabres, block ogre, and then 3 guard with the mighty blow tackle blitzer, normal thrower, and then of course the 2 catchers, 3 rerolls, 1 apo. Nothing too careless. Just gonna be the normal. And we'll be facing off against Silsei's Frankable Stars here, so Frankable. And again here, the human team, as always, you know, they are gonna have 3 guard, and luckily they'll have does have 1 white with that extra guard piece, but should get outbashed in the front line. Does have the zombies, does have regeneration for his guys, but gonna have to play with some ghouls, and kind of the reason why you see blodge pieces here. But the mighty blow tackle piece of the human player could be the difference, could be able to take down some of these ghouls there with the armor 7 and get those pieces out of there, especially these 2 pieces that are going to be a bit naked against that blitzer with the mighty blow block and tackle. So those two ghouls are going to be a little bit, I don't know, blitz down, I guess. But 3 fan factor. You gotta believe that undead team, just like the Amazon natives, right? Those girls, they can definitely get a lot of extra stuff on top of this, right? They don't need to buy an APO, so can throw money into fan factor, get the 3 rerolls, get a nice little extra bench, and this is not out of the question here for this necromancy team. And of course, the regeneration comes on through for the zombies. They'll be all right. I just feel like because the human team does have the tackle and mighty blow, and unfortunately undead went with 4 ghouls, this is going to be one of those lineups that's going to be a little bit more susceptible to that, and because of that, humans should be able to win this one. So let's go ahead and take Blade 2993. And look at that. Nobody's giving this human team a chance. And of course, the Sages undead team taking on the Camry team, Vicenze. Oh, I love that. But let's take a look at the round 2. So round 2 matchup. So Valiopia, I'm talking about Valiopia's human team taking on Blade 2993s. And of course, one of those things in which the human team pretty much gonna be mirroring this matchup. And if you're asking me if I like Valiopia with human team versus another guy playing a human team, then yeah, we're picking Valiopia right there. So that's my pick to go into the round of 3. Don't forget, guys, you can get into challenge.com and check out the brackets here and submit your votes in. Not only that, but you can do predictions. So I'm going to likely do some predictions as well for the World Cup. But yes, I mean, you can put in your predictions and just kind of have fun with it. Pick where you want to go with it and see if you can beat old VGP, who's actually going to be doing this, right? Camry Obushi say, True Blue? Indeed. But I'm going to have to say, though, Camry team, they are definitely going to be a tough team to play with, but does have those Tomb Guardians to help out against if they were playing against human teams, but they're playing against an undead team. And let's see here, what is the name here? Made of Sand. And Camry team, Tomb Guardians, they may be made of sand, but today they are rock hard. Get my drink going. This is definitely one of those teams in which you'd be afraid to play if this was not a resurrection tournament. However, this is a resurrection tournament, so thank goodness for that. But does have a blitz run with the tackle and mighty blow. In fact, this team is going heavy on the mighty blow. And he's going to be pleased to see that he's going to play against a undead team, which does have zombies that can get bashed down by the 5 strength Tomb Guardians. And that's going to be really nice to have 3 team rolls. I think maybe definitely using that doubles to a little bit more fruitfulness, but instead opting to go with loads of mighty blow and the guard tackle and the mighty blow here in the blitzra. So this is definitely legal. You can still take 6 general skills, or I should say 6 normal skills, instead of getting the 5 normal skills with the 1 doubles. But a little bit of, I think maybe a missed opportunity. I don't know. I'll tell you what, this team is going to be susceptible to are going to be those pesky war dancers with Blodge. I mean, certainly he doesn't need to worry about the strip ball or even the tackle, but with the block and defender stumbles, defender down dice, I mean, that's just too much to... I mean, once the war dancer pokes that ball out, that's it. I mean, how's the Khemri team going to recover? But again, lucky that this Khemri team is not playing against a Wood Elf team. And again, one of those teams in which 1 in 9 comes out for the Tomb Guardians, right? Both down die and the attacker down die. And they're in a little bit of trouble here. A little bit. I mean, not enough block or anything. And then let's see, let's take a look at, again, the Sage's team and his odd Ravings. So luckily for this undead team, well, he's brought a lot of guys to the fight. He's like, okay, I'm choosing you. All you coming from the dead, you're coming with me. And so, I mean, it's going to be one of those games in which the necromancy team is going to be up against it with all that mighty blow he has to contend with. Unfortunately, his mummies are probably going to get a little bit hit from the Tomb Guardians, but luckily he does have guard for 2 of the mummies, and so can help out against 1 Tomb Guardian, maybe. But gonna definitely need to have some synergy here with some of these other supporting casts here, maybe with his white or something like that. But boy, oh boy, I mean, even with the 2 guard pieces here, he's gonna be maybe getting a 1-die block if he's gonna be doing it with the white. So I mean, that's not ideal. Definitely not ideal, but who knows, right? I mean, Ghoul with the sure hands, the fight against those Wood Elves, but I think Sage, he needs to live up here to his name and get the W here on the Khemri team. But not to say that he's gonna get beat up, and one of those games in which the Khemri team, at least he's gonna be going against the undead team and has a chance to knock him out, literally. But if he doesn't, then the Sage takes that one almost quite easily. There we go, Mr. Light, one of my favorite North American coaches. And we'll be playing against Chabaron. I do believe he's playing next Monday as well. Thought he was playing tonight. And I was thinking, oh, I'll be able to cast a game. But no. Not going to be playing today. So just going to be going over the round 1 brackets here. So Chabaron taking on Mr. Lights. So claws and teeth for Chabaron. It's going to be one of the few Skaven teams, I think one of 2 Skaven teams in this tournament. And we'll have the Gutter Runners, but only 3 of them. So as you can see there, not my favorite Skaven team. And I think I definitely would have went with 4 Gutter Runners if I was going to play Skaven. I mean, is this, how can you live without 1 extra Gutter Runner? I just don't know. I mean, that would mean that you would have to hope like crazy that your Gutter Runners don't just plain die on the pitch. Now, sure, you got the Apothecary, but surely that means that you have to hold the APO for one of your Gutter Runners, and not necessarily going to be your Storm Vermin, who has Mighty Blow and the other would tackle. So, I mean, do you save those guys or do you let those guys go? But with 4 Gutter Runners, sure, you might lose 1, maybe 2, and that's okay, but here you lose 1 or 2 and it's like, ouch. So definitely not one of my favorite Skaven setup. I mean, and plus look, if you look at the lineup, I mean, look, he's went with 14 rats. So did he have the space to get the extra Gutter Runner? Sure, just drops 2 of these rats and gets a Skaven. You still have an extra rat. You can have a 13 lineup. And now you have 4 Gutter Runners. I just don't understand this. Did he just accidentally forgot? Like, he bought the first 3 and was like a victim of his own. I'm gonna buy 1 Gutter Runner and then I'm gonna buy 2 Storm Vermins and then, oh yeah, buy 2 more Gutter Runners and then, oops, I forgot about the last Gutter Runner. What happened? What happened? I just don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely hating on that Skaven team, and luckily, or unluckily, it is going to be the big Mr. Light with his Dwarven team. And if you guys know anything about Mr. Light, he loves to pound and grind you out, and he's gonna love seeing a Skaven team. Love it. This is quite possibly the best first round draw for Mr. Light, is having the weak Skaven team with just all line rats. Sure, there's gonna be like a million line rats that he's gonna have to kill, pummel, and injure, and all, but I mean, gonna go with 4 guard here. Puts it on the blitzers, put it on the 2 Longbeards, and the line rats have no chance. Sure, they got 3 strength as well, but can definitely move the ball against these line rats. And normally these Skaven team would be one of those in which can outrun this Dwarven team, but given that it's Mr. Light, given that he's got the tackle with all those Longbeards and then the guard where it's necessary, I mean, I have to give it to Mr. Light. I mean, almost easily to his Dwarven team here. So first round, he's got to be feeling confident, and with good reason, right? And so let's just take a look here at the second round for that one. So Vincenze going to be falling to the Sage, and the Sage taking on Mr. Light's Dwarven team. So this is actually going to be a really great matchup. Both of these guys very solid, right? To the point in which it just makes you cry. Yeah, fouls for days, right? True Blue, yeah, you're right about that. But it's just, the Sage and Mr. Light, they have very similar play styles. They're going to be just grinding it out on you, just kind of pummeling each other's lights out. But armor 9 of Mr. Light, and likely, if I was Mr. Light, maybe going to take something here that can maybe make up for the undead. Maybe get Mighty Blow on one of the dwarves, maybe get more guard. I'm not exactly sure, but one of those games in which either get more guard, or, I mean, this is going to be a doubles for the dwarf, so he might actually think about going for a, I don't know, something pretty good here for maybe as one of his runners there. I mean, maybe get dodge, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, some of those, one of those things in which he can go a bunch of ways here for his Dwarven team. But undead team maybe up against it, and Mr. Light does play very solid. I mean, oh boy, that's a tough one here. This is definitely going to come down to Nuffle, and if the mummies can make up for the fact that they're getting outstrengthened in the front line again, then it's just one of those things where the Dwarven team should be able to take that win yet again. So Mr. Light taking on Veliopia in the next bit, and of course, as we've seen before, Veliopia playing against a bit of a bash team there in the dwarves. It's going to be a tough matchup for the human team, and so I don't know yet. You know, I haven't actually chosen a prediction here for any of the round 3, so I'm just going to leave it like that. But Veliopia versus Mr. Light in the round of 3, that's going to be a very good matchup between those two. So let's go ahead and get to the next bit here. Shad from the PS4. Wood Elf team taking on a Russian qualifier. Grey Bumblebees, that's what it translates out to. The Necro team, Sharktopusses. Let's see here. So let's just take a look here at Sharktopusses of the Grey Bumblebee. Yes, prediction has been enabled yet, so I'm actually going to do it. So there we go. So the Flesh Golems for the Necro team, and again, one of those games in which, you know, Necromantic team has to kind of give up something here to get something, and what the Necromantic team is giving up here is the extra werewolf. But very interestingly enough, they have Wrestle and Mighty Blow on the werewolf, so it's just it's a very interesting thing in which you took Mighty Blow, but then you don't take Block, and he took Wrestle. I mean, there's going to be plenty of targets in which does not have Block, and I'm extremely surprised that the werewolf didn't take the Block. I mean, sure, yes, I get it, the Wrestle, that'll help get the ball for you. Sure, I get it, he's not going to get bashed down, but it's just, you put Mighty Blow on him, it's like, oh man, that's just tough. That is definitely going to be tough. So, sure hands, blodge ghoul, and then the guard and block white here. It's going to be a tough one here. Definitely tough. That would definitely be a good game to watch, I'll tell you that much. Alright, and now let's see here and take a look at the other team. And Shad's PS4 don't. Let's do that. PS4 don't. Of Shad. And so necromancy team, so unfortunately facing off against a wood up team where the claw doesn't even matter now. And then on top of that, he's got a non-block werewolf with mighty blows. So I mean, plenty of juicy targets he could have taken advantage of and taken down, but one of those things where doesn't have block, and so won't likely be able to use that werewolf to the maximum effect. And you're putting that in there with the tackle and strip. I mean, he's got this tree as well, the leader, the dodge on the thrower too. So, I mean, no tackle on the werewolf either. I have to say that Shad might have an easier time at this. So Shad's gonna have the nod there for the brackets. So let's take that. Yeah, I mean, streaming's tough, right? I mean, it's not easy to stream. I mean, it took me quite a few long times to just stream myself. Okay, so next up here, so Shad gonna get the nod there, and we'll face off against the winner between another Necro and a human team, and this is going to be a pretty good match between these two, RTSD and Tessa, human team. So I believe Tessa, no strangeness there. The Kobayashi Maru, and it seems like an unbeatable team if you asked me. I don't think you can definitely solve that challenge. Kobayashi Maru, let's just do Maru. Oop. Guess it doesn't like that. Kobayashi, there we go. So necromancy team, so of course, yes, he's gonna be dropping the white to get what he wants, and we'll have a mighty blow werewolf, and then the other one with block and tackle, and that would be nice. But Necros again gonna have to kind of rely on the werewolves, kind of the artillery strikes, as I've always kind of mentioned before, and definitely gonna need against the human team, because the human team likely has loads of guard on his side. So did get block on the flesh golems to reduce any 1 in 9s coming out for the necros, but we'll see how this necro team, let's see how necros are going to face off against this human team of RTSD. Let's see here, I mean not RTSD, but Tessa's human team, the Flying Frenchman. Love these team names. Tessa. So again, one of the notable PC coaches of Tessa, and we'll be facing off against RTSD, and he does gonna have ogre, lots of block here, tackle and mighty blow blitzer as well. I mean, that's gonna be the norm here, and then gonna have the extra guard here instead of going with the block ogre. I really like that, because that just says to me that, look, I'm gonna use my ogre for positioning, not necessarily for the bashes. You know, not gonna just do anything crazy with them. Probably not gonna activate him whenever he's gonna be in great position here. Now let's see here. I can definitely check. Definitely check the screenshots for RTSD here. So let's see here. Don't think it is a variation though. From the start. So, yeah. that going, and then that there, and then go to our team. There's the old screenshot. Yep, Mighty Blow, tackle on, yep, block on the werewolf, tackle there, and then Sure Hands Ghoul. Nope. He is good to go. RTSD, looking good. Okay, now Tessa's team. Gonna have the guard, 4 blitzers, so human team does have that thrower to help out here against the Kobayashi Maru, but let's see here, Kobayashi Maru. This is gonna be a tough fight here. Necros, at least we'll be facing off against the humans, but humans outbashing outside, but werewolves coming back here with style. Unfortunately, kind of separated these two. Maybe would have liked to see maybe block and the Mighty Blow, but I guess can't have everything here. Can't have it all. And tough matchup here for the Necros. I'm just gonna go with the human team, just simply because of all of the guard there. And I think really the all things being equal, the skill, right? I mean, that's just gonna be one of those things. Single 89 taking off Fufule. So single 89. Oh, and of course here Shad coming through here, and then Tessa. So human team taking on a Wood Elf team. Does have the thrower, but I believe the thrower doesn't have any skills. But after the first round, likely gonna guard against the strip ball tackle of the Wood Elf team. So possibly just gonna take easy block, gonna maybe forego that double skill in the first round to shore up that thrower, I think. But I mean, I think once he does that, the guard may be able to help out against the Wood Elf team. And Wood Elves, oh boy, I mean, again, one of those things where can you jump in time and time again and then try to take that ball out? That's the question, right? I mean, whose War Dancer can jump in and strip ball the best? That's the tough question here. But I mean, if you're relying on the leap in there and take that ball out, I mean, it's gonna be a tough day. Sure, it works, but then sometimes it doesn't, and when it doesn't, ouch. So I think Tessa goes on to round 3 here. So let's see, Orc Tails, one of the 2 orcs here in the league, and then taking on Fufule, the lizard team, Le Champion du Monde. Let's see here, Orc Tails. And the orcs, I think, a little bit on the back foot here. But once they get a few skills going, get those blitzers up, it's going to be pretty good stuff. Oh yeah, not a problem. So all you got to do is go to the predictions here at the top of the tab, sign in, and then you just do the predictions right here. There are no predictions yet, but you can get in there and then do the predictions on the, let's see here, the bottom somewhere. Let's see here. It should be right here. Predictions, yeah. You know, I did it before here. Let's see here, settings. Let's see there. I did enable the predictions here. Let's see here. Usually it just kind of shows up there. Predictions and voting. May have to. Let's see here. Thought there was a way that you can do it here. You know what? It's not working for me either. Let's see here. No, there's gotta be a way. There's gotta be a way. Why aren't the predictions working? Maybe you gotta do all the votes first. Maybe that's it. You know what I mean? Good thing we asked. I think maybe you gotta do the votes first and then you get to do predictions. So maybe that's it, right? Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that it can be done here. Yeah, it's likely the votes first, because it's showing the votes first, and then once you do that, I think the predictions will show up. Alright, well, let's just move on for right now. We'll figure it out in just a sec. Alright, so our team's going to have a tough time against the Lizardman team. Let's see here, and let's check out the Lizardman team. Fufalays here, and let's see what his team name is. For that, and there's going to be the Champion. And of course, gonna have Black Stars. Can't blame him here. Don't want to get 1 and 9 if you can help it. And gonna rely on the superior positioning. Apa with 2 team rerolls. Can't blame him. Did get the extra skink instead of the team reroll. So a bit of an interesting choice, but one in which he's gonna have to live with. But could get 1 and 9 here. Fufalay. And again, Orc Tails. Single 89. Gonna be tough. Definitely gonna be tough. Does have those black orcs, but with the block for those frontline stars can definitely outbash these frontline. Gonna likely put the lime in the front and then black orcs to help support. And maybe stifle the Lizardman team. The skinks might be the difference here. And actually gonna utilize the blitzer for the ball carrying. And I kind of don't like that. Definitely would like to see a thrower instead. And I can't blame him though. Gotta think about the long run, so went without it. But early going in this format, the thrower definitely would have been useful. But luckily for him, not gonna be facing off against too many crazy teams. But luckily for the for Fufalay, I think he's going to have a little bit of a better bit there. So Fufalay, he's got my vote here for that win against his Orc team. And then Eom taking on Notorious Noob. I think you got to do the voting here. I think you guys are. I think that's why it's not available yet. Now it's going to haunt me until this vote comes up. Thanks a lot. No problem though. Eom taking on a Notorious Noob Necro team. Indeed. Let's see here. Guillotine therapy. That seems like a good way to go. When you need some therapy, go for the guillotine therapy. And no temper today for Notorious Noob. So let's just take a quick look here at this Wood Elf team. Team roster does have the wrestle lineman, and then of course the usual tackle and strip all with the war dancers, and then of course the leader here for the team role. No APO though, so with the 11-man front, this is going to be a little bit risky, but I guess you play a Wood Elf team, better be used to playing down a guy, right? And now, like taking a look here at Eom's Necro team, and if the Necro team has a Mighty Blow tackler, then this Wood Elf team might be in for some troubles. Guillotine therapy. Let's go with therapy. Well, he doesn't have a Mighty Blow tackler, but he does have a Mighty Blow block werewolf, and then more block here with the flesh golem, and then the 2 guard whites, and then the blodge ghouls. And so this is going to be troublesome. Again, one of those things where you didn't want to face against a Wood Elf team in the first round, and there you go. Eom facing off against a Wood Elf team that's quite dangerous and can take him out. So just 2 rerolls as well. I think he's going to find himself a little bit short on luck here as well. So we're going to have to choose this Wood Elf team almost rather easily there. Wood Elves, able to take that ball away. Loads of rerolls as well, so can definitely do some damage here and get that win there. So Notorious Noob. And then next up, hey, look at that, Guinness. So of course Guinness, the 2016 World Cup winner, back again, and unfortunately gonna have to face off against the North American compadre. Well, it had to be, right? But we're just gonna take a quick look. Of course, I already like Guinness to win this match, and not just because he's in chat. Definitely one in which, again, I mean, I've always said a very good coach can definitely outplay you, and can definitely, I mean, I just never see the man mess up, and when he loses, it just seems like it's the dice, you know, and that's just the truth of it. I mean, that's just honest truth. But taking a look here at the Amazon team of Nerdfrog, and Nerdfrog is going to be in for it here. So let's see here, Nerdfrog, Amazon team, and the good news is that it's Amazon. The bad news, lots of freaking blodge for the Lizard team to handle. Wow. I mean, whew. You talk about, hey, you know what, let's live and die by blodging. And not only that, 4 team rerolls. We are not going to get nuffled, and we're going to try to dodge away from the line of the Lizard team. And you know, honestly, I haven't seen Nerdfrog play, but if he plays quite positionally here, waits for Lizardman team, maybe gets 1 and 9 here and there, then this could be a long day for the coming back world champion here. So I mean, this is not going to be an easy match whatsoever, but hey, you know, Amazon, they are quite good at lower team values, though, I'll tell you that much. And I'm very much surprised to see that the Amazon teams aren't more chosen in this format. Just a little bit. Hey, what's going on, Melagold? I'm just doing some predictions here. I didn't really do them in the bracket opening because I was just running out of time. It took like an hour and a half just to go through all the teams and stuff. It's just like, no, it took 2 hours actually. But yes, luckily though, does have the block and tackle Saurus, so can deal with the Amazon women and can hopefully get some breaks. It's just so lucky here that, I wouldn't say lucky, but I mean, one of those things where good thing you went with block and tackle here for the SARS, because that could be the difference here between winning and losing in this match against the Amazon team. So very good stuff here. Block and more block here for the other Saurus. A little bit risky to just go with the block and tackle there, but luckily, again, facing off against the Amazon team, gonna love seeing that, and all of the dodge girls are gonna be in for it. So again, Guinness has the win there, but man, all the blodge is gonna be a little bit of a nightmare for those Lizards who do not have the block and tackle. I'll tell you that much. They're gonna just be like, OMG, these girls are just getting away just like in real life. But yes, Guinness is gonna be able to take that win. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Nerdfrog, he says, we all know who has the skills to win this matchup, so definitely Nerdfrog himself in the chat's going, oh, go Guinness. So there you go. Trying to pick pass block instead, but misclicked. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely good. Fortunate that you went with the tackle and the block skill right there, because that's definitely going to help out against all those damn blodgers. But again, Nerdfrog needs to have some pretty good positioning here, make the best use. And if Guinness doesn't get the armor breaks there with the Lizard and take down those girls, I mean, it's just going to be a very long day. Very long. Junior 84, another Lizardman team here, taking on the Elven Union. So again, this is also one of those other teams in which I'm a little bit surprised to see. I mean, I'm not going to say like really surprised, but just a little bit surprised that more Elven Unions weren't chosen. But I can see why though. One of those Elven teams that's a little bit hard to play with, right? Pro Elves. But Junior 84 Let's think here. Hamburg Carnivoran Crew. The Lizardmen team. And of course we'll go the 4 block. And then not only that, loads of skinkers. 3 rerolls and an APO. So definitely some good stuff here. And then not only that, he's gonna be 4 strength lineup, right? I mean, with the Kroxigor, you know, low team values, Lizardman team, very, very difficult to deal with as well, especially when they start getting block on their guys. And this is gonna be no different right here. If you play the Lizardman team anytime before and you get block on your SARS, it's such an easier time for you. Facing off against the Elven Union though, so let's see how much blodge we're gonna see for Elven Unions. Elves. Let's see here. What's the name of the team there? Red Fire Spirits. Ariakan. So here we go. Ariakan with the Pro Elves in a messed up lineup. I just can't vote for a guy to win with a crazy messed up lineup, messing with my OCD. Alright, so now we're going to have the catcher with that wrestle, and then another catcher with guard, and of course the blodge step blitzer, and then the other blodge step blitzer. So I mean, if I was going to create a Pro Elf team, this is it right here. The blodge stepper is so dangerous. And if you're playing against a guy that's not going to have any tackles, such as this Lizardman team, you got to believe that this Pro Elf team has a real shot at winning it. Not only that, 2 team rerolls with the leader, so that's 3. And then going to have the APO, going to have the extra catcher. Again, I mean, why not pick this team? This is going to be a pretty darn nice looking team there. Didn't go here too strong with anything, and I mean, I like it. I like this team a lot. I mean, you only need 2 blitzers, and you give them both the skills necessary to be winners, and you still got another skill that you can possibly give them to do well in the later bits. I mean, you can go maybe some, like for the first doubles, maybe going with I don't know, maybe something with the strength, maybe like tackle or something, I don't know, mighty blow, or maybe you just continue on with the agility skills, just give them jump up, hell. I mean, just so nice. You can just do whatever you want here with the blitzers, and that's really, really so strong here. I mean, these blitzers become really strong, and then you couple them with these really strong catchers. I think maybe get a skill for the thrower perhaps would be a prudent choice there, but I mean, this Pro Elf team looking pretty good, and so because of that, Pro Elf team, I think, should be able to take this one and make life extraordinarily difficult for the Lizardman team. I mean, I guess the nice thing here is the Lizardman team doesn't have to worry about are any blodge catchers, but does have Raj here. I mean, not Raj, but does have the wrestle here and the guard there. But man, maybe if these catchers had dodge instead, maybe it would have been a little bit more threatening. But went with the doubles here and put the guard on the catcher. I can't blame him here, but still, I like it. I really like that a lot. And not only that, it can help out with the bashes and then still be able to catch that ball. So dangerous, so dangerous. Give the thrower strong arm and accurate. Call it a day. Yes, indeed. So the Pro Elf team luckily is playing against a team that has no tackle. But the catchers may be in for some bashes in there, but I do believe that Lizardman team is going to have trouble with those blitzers, I think. And I think the blitzers are going to end up being the real catchers. And the real catchers themselves are going to be the guys that are just going to be running around, just taking the heat off the blitzers. Next up, though, Philadius with Nacho Bill. Of course, Philadius, 3 tickets being won for the World Cup. So Philadius actually going to be one of the more successful guys coming into this tournament. And Nacho Bill is going Gonna be up against it. Does have a Skaven team here, and unlike the other Skaven team, as we're about to see for that matchup. Oh, I think. Oh yes, let's take a look here at the round 2. I forgot to do that. So we're gonna see Gennis taking on Ariak, and again, Gennis, luckily he took the block and the tackle, and I guess I wouldn't say lucky. I mean, that's kind of a poor word. It's just fortunate that you chose the block and tackle, and then you'll likely go with mighty blow or something. Well, actually, you can't go with past the 2 skills on the same SARS, but I mean, can definitely do something else with another block SARS and then give him tackle, and then maybe shore things up or scale. I have no idea, but one of those games in which Ariakin will be in for it. So Gennis moves on to the round of 3, and we'll face off against one of these guys here. And this is going to be a tough bracket here for this particular, because there's 3 Lizardman teams that you have to deal with, and then not only that, but there's Palladius and Ducky in the same brackets, right? So this is going to be a tough bracket to get out of right here and get into the quarterfinals. So this is going to be a true test, definitely. So Palladius, luckily though, Palladius will likely play against Ducky here in the round of 2, and so one of the 2 competitors will be out of it. But still, I mean, which one? Who? I mean, neither one is going to be an ideal choice, and especially against another Lizardman team. Next up, though, let's take a look here again. Nacho Bill, Requisitos Rats. I like that name. Of Nacho Bill. This may be your Bill, but it's Nacho Bill. The Roger with the Juggernaut. I like that. Not only that, we'll have the 4 gutters. I don't know if I would have went with the Roja in this case here. You're gonna be sacrificing a rat, but sacrificing a reroll to get the Roja. But I like the choice here because you're gonna be facing off against lots of bashy teams, and of course, I did say that in the bracket openings that I wasn't gonna take a Dark Elf team, but I was. If I was going into the World Cup, I would have actually taken a Skaven team, and this is probably what it would have looked like right here. I would have taken the Raj Gutter Runner and a Blodge Gutter Runner here, one for the ball carrying and one for the ball hawking. And I don't know if I would have taken the Roger there, but it would have been one in which would have been considered heavily. I don't know if I would have put Juggernaut right there, but certainly it's the reason why I wouldn't take the Juggernaut in the first round with the I mean, I guess you can still take block with your first skill with the doubles, but then I guess you'd be missing out on a mutation, which would likely be something like Mighty Blow or Claw on the Storm Vermin, depending on who you're going to be facing up against in the next round, right? So yeah, I mean, I like this pick, Roger with the Juggernaut, so now you're not afraid to blitz with them, and then it won't be susceptible to so many wild animals as well. So I mean, definitely a good choice. And I really like that Skaven team a lot, and let's see who he's going to be facing up against here. And he is facing up against Palladius Ogum World. OGH. Palladius. And yes, we'll have 3 block and then a guard SARS. So a little bit of a difference here from the other Lizard team, and that's really what I like here. I mean, we've seen 3 Lizard teams, and all 3 has just done something a little bit more different from one another. And the guard SARS here, that's a good one to have in this format. Could face up against a bunch of, say, humans, and now suddenly you need that guard, but gonna be facing off against the rat crew there, and this is gonna be a tough one to call there with the Roger that you have to contend with. But unlike many rats, they won't have guard to deal with. Storm Vermin without guard or anything like that. So Roger might be in there all by himself, lonesome, and then does have an extra skink, so could actually start fouling the Rogers as well. Not afraid to do those fouls with the skink. So yeah, I think Faladius, quite possibly a bad matchup here for the Skaven team, but Lizardman team will be pleased to see it. But it's not going to be easy. Oh boy. Then again, those Skaven. The Skaven, they look pretty strong, but yeah, I'm gonna still take Faladius. That was a tough choice right there. I'm gonna have to like bring out a coin and just go like, you know what? This is my Nuffle meter. So yes. Yes, indeed. If only Malik had Jug on his Roger, it would have been a different game. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll see about facing the predictions. This is so difficult. I think once you make the votes, then the prediction will pop up. Alright, so Ducky versus Naproxy. Obviously, I already like Ducky just in name himself, and facing off against Naproxy. And Naproxy can't be more displeased to see that he is facing off against one of the more famed coaches in the Champions Cup in terms of Athelaran. Ducky, of course, the natural tackle with the War Dancer with Strip Ball, leader with the Blodge Catcher. I really like that, so that he can make sure that he's able to get those nice, quick, and easy scores. And if he goes for the long run, then that's all you need. And one team reroll with the leader, that's all he needs. We'll still have this APO as well. So as you can see there, another different style Wood Elf team that has to be contend with. And then let's see here, Naproxy's undead team, and I think luckily for Ducky, he's gonna be going for this undead team, which Nadidi, Naproxy, and of course no sure hands here, and does have those 2 rerolls. That's going to be limiting for Ducky to dive in there, but does he really need to do it? I don't know. Does have that white with tackle, but luckily no might with the tackle and mighty blow or anything like that. It's a toss-up. Judge them on how funny their team names are. Yeah. Whoever makes the crappiest rolls ever. A little bit also surprised to see that he went with the 2 cheerleaders and then the coach assistants. I almost would have liked to see it better on the fan factor. That kind of tells me a little bit about this coach. Probably would have been better off to get the 3 fan factor instead of the coach assistants, just because of the fame. The fame will be put into a lot more roles than the couple of kickoff roles that could come out for the cheering fans, and then, you know, the brilliant coaching. So I guess it's going to be one of those things as well that, okay, banking on, okay, so people's got fan factor, so he's going to bank on the fact that nobody's got cheerleaders and coach assistants, and maybe make use of the extra rerolls there. But I think fan factor would have been a little bit more useful here, especially in this format. Does have the blodge and then tackle the guard. I mean, this is going to be a nice little team there, but of course Ducky, I believe, is going to be able to move on, barring Nuffle and injuring just about all of his guys. Still have to contend with the mummies, and still could get Nuffled and could see a lot of armor breaks and go down without a fight. But all things being equal, and then if you just don't consider Nuffled, then Ducky's got the win there. And so take a look here at the round 2 of that. And of course Ducky taking off Faladius. Now that right there, my friends, is a good question. But as we have seen, if the Lizardman team does move on, he's going to have to get sure hands on one of those little skinks, and that still doesn't protect him from the Wood Elf with the blodge and likely the tackle. So I mean, one of those things in which a Wood Elf will just reign supreme on this Lizardman team. So Ducky taking on Faladius' Lizardman team. It's going to be a hard-fought one, but I think Ducky's Wood Elf team will have a much easier time against the Lizard team than he will against this undead team. So Ducky moves on to face Guinness in the round of 3, and that, my friends, that's going to be a very interesting matchup right there, because again, Guinness falls into the same kind of deal. What is he going to do with the skinks with without sure hands, I mean, he's got 2 strength skinks, and it's not like you can get lucky and maybe get a +1 strength skink or anything like that. Blodge skink will only help so much. Blodge with the sure hands, that will help a little bit more, but you still have to contend with the strip ball. I mean, and also the tackle blitzer. I mean, it's just going to be one of those things where the war dancer is just going to be reigning supreme on those skinks. And luckily for Ducky's Wood Elf team, he's the only Wood Elf team here. And not only that, no humans to contend with as well. And so undead team might just be the biggest obstacle here, and it's not really. So, oh boy, I mean, I'm kind of predicting it already, but round 3, I mean, it's going to be a tough one for Guinness to win as well. But we're going to go into round 3 predictions a little bit later on. But still, I mean, Ducky with that Wood Elf team, it's going to be pretty darn good for this bit of brackets. Haha, you're right about that, Volcatron. This is the World Cup's 64 team single elimination. Everyone has a chance to win it. And it's one in which, as another streamer has put it, I mean, anyone can definitely do it there. I mean, just given a little bit of luck, all things being equal, if the skill being equal, if the teams are being equal, then it just all comes down to Nuffle. And as maybe True Blue has said it best, it's just whoever has the funkiest team names, right? But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where everyone has a shot, and that's going to be the joy here. Just like what the NCAA, right? The college basketball series. I mean, certainly the guys with the more skill, with the better guys, has a slightly better chance of winning, but they could still be upset, and you just never know. And that's the thrill of Blood Bowl. So there, Ducky takes the win, and next up, Sprinter's Dark Elf team taking on Butt Ugly or Gnome Slayers from the Xbox. Just a Luck Xbox taking on It's a Trap, the Dark Elf team. So another Dark Elf team, one of the 3 being chosen. So Sprinter, It's a Trap. Let's take a look here at that team. And it looks like I'm going long once again, so again I'm gonna have to speed it up here. So the Witch Elves here for the Dark Elf team. One will wrestle, the other one with the Blodge. I like that, another Blodge Blitzer. Some more Blodge that the other team has to contend with, and does have 2 team roles with the leader. And I like that as well. It does have the A-put for him. So Dark Elves pretty much used to being here. And again, if he can get past the first couple rounds there, then the Dark Elves will be able to get their engine running and get out of the gates pretty quickly. And luckily, or maybe not so luckily, is going to be playing against just the Luck Xbox with the Necro team. Again, Necromancy team pretty much has to sacrifice something in order to get something, as we have said multiple times. And right here, he's going to sacrifice the reroll for it. So he's going to start with just the 2 rerolls. We'll have the Sure Hands Ghoul, but not facing up against a Wood Elf team. But it's going to have the guard for just about all of his guys. White with the 3 guards. It's going to be waiting for perhaps a human team to fight up against. But unfortunately for Gnome Slayer, is actually going to be going up against the oh crap, the Dark Elf team, who doesn't really rely on, say, the War Dancers and things like that. But with all that guard, the Necro team could outbash the Dark Elf. In fact, they will outbash him, right? And the Werewolves will be able to have their Claw and Mighty Blow activate as well. So, yeah, lots of teams, but needs more halflings. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, though, since we're playing for big money, $3,000 for first, $1,500 for second, and then $1,000 apiece for third and fourth place, I don't think we're gonna see the tier 3 team pickage. I definitely like the Tackle Werewolf, and I still also love the Mighty Blow with the Claw. Could get 1-9 there, but I mean, the Dark Elves may be in for it, and with the guard in front, again, I mean, Dark Elves could possibly win, and I hate picking against the Dark Elves, but it's going to be one of those things where the Dark Elf in the first round, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, and I like this Necro team a little bit more, and sure, the Necro team might get Nuffled there with just 2 team rolls, but if that's your worry, then that may not be such a big deal to worry about after you see the Dark Elf team who could get nuffled themselves. So unfortunately for me, Dark Elves, oh no. And we're going to take a butt ugly there, and Sprinter may be falling even though people don't like my pick there. I actually like the Necro team. But I don't care what people think. I care about what I think. Wolfbaneson's Wood Elf team taking on Adant. Adant, a very notable Russian coach. It's a nice huge prize pool, isn't it? All brought to you by ISIS. ISIS? No. ASIS! Republic of Gamers. Couldn't have done it without their sponsorship, so definitely want to be one of those guys that are definitely one of those companies in which helped out and brought this to all of us. So thanks to those guys. Wolfbaneson's Wood Elf team taking out this Dwarven team. Ouch. And if you're playing Wood Elves, you definitely didn't want to face against any of those armor value 9 Dwarven coaches. But unfortunately, only 6 dwarves in the contest, but what is it, 15 Wood Elves to contend with, so had to happen, I guess. Forest Wolves, Wolfbanesons. Wood Elf team, the natural strip ball with the tackle there, and the leader thrower, and then the wrestle lineman. I like that. Hopefully we'll be able to contend with the dwarves there. 2 rerolls, no APO, and that might actually be the killer. Did actually get 3 catches though instead. So pretty quick on their feet, and going up against the killer team of Adant, the World Cup Dwarves. And gonna get the 3 guard, and gonna have the block runner to helpfully help against the Wood Elf team, in which he could face up against, and hey, lo and behold, he does! So doesn't have to worry about the strip ball, but does still need to worry about the defender down, defender stumbles, and doesn't need to worry about too much about the war dancers. But once that guy jumps in there, all he needs to do is get the 2 guard up here on the corners of the cages, and suddenly it's not going to be an easy jump in whatsoever. So Adant gonna have a little bit of the nod here for the win against that Wood Elf team. So in the first round, if you're playing Wood Elf and you're playing Dwarves, it's not going to be such a fun time for you. Fun times not to be had. And just take a look here at the round 2 matchup, Sprinter versus Butt Ugly. And of course, I like the Necro a little bit more than Dark Elves. Not to say the Sprinter doesn't have a chance, but obviously I am biased for the Dark Elves, but Necro just going to maybe get a little bit more out of it, I think. The Claw, Mighty Blow, Werewolf, and the other tackle. The tackle with the other werewolf, it's just, that's just going to be the difference, I think. And then 3 guard lineup, so they bash down the linemen of the Dark Elves and make their lives a little bit more difficult. It's just tough. So Butt Ugly moves on, and then we'll face off against Adant, and this is where it gets interesting, right? The Claw. This is why we went with Necro, right? So he's likely going to take something for the werewolves, maybe block on one of them or something like that, to help shore up against some of these dwarves that does have block, so he doesn't get 1 in 9, and then it goes the other way. Your group coming up, True Blue. Yes, indeed, you waited long enough. So yeah, so then this is going to be a tough matchup here, but depending on if the Necros can get their Claw down, then we're gonna have to go with Adant's Dwarven team. Again, Adant, a very notable coach, and he does like to grind it out, does like to bash down the other team, and playing his natural race here, and loves to just do that against you. We'll be able to likely move on to round 3. So now, Amazon team taking on the Orc team, and what a great matchup for Durin. Or is it? As I said before, Amazons. I mean, surely you think that you would have seen a few more Amazons, but I think it's just one of those things where people aren't necessarily used to playing against or playing with the Amazon team and being successful with them. So it's going to be one of those things where, yeah, the Amazon's going to have to dodge, going to have all that blodge here for the Blitzers. Went with guard for just about all the Amazon, and then Frenzy here, so kind of banking on the fact that, hey, I'm going to hit you guys, and not only that, if you misposition yourself against the sideline, I'll be able to surf you out. There you go. 4 fan factor for the fame. 4 rerolls. So Donick knows what he's doing here. He knows what he's doing with this Amazon team. And so it really just going to kind of come down to what does Durin have. Well, hopefully he's gone with the Mighty Blow and Tackle Blitzer, because if he doesn't, then this is going to be a hard times for him. But I think fortunately for Durin, he did the Tackle Mighty Blow Blitzer, and he's going to be thanking his lucky stars that he did. Get the Mighty Blow, get the Tackle Blitzer, and then of course the 2 Black Orcs with that guard ability. More blocks here for those blitzers. I mean, it's just going to be great. Going to have that thrower online as well. I like that. So, I mean, this is really just for those pesky Wood Elf teams. So the thrower is not going to be the thing that's going to be inconsequential. It's going to be these blitzers, especially this one here, Durin. If he absolutely does not come online, then it's going to be, oh boy, it's going to be a tough time for him. But it's not going to be easy at all to activate this one, because he will be going up against the 3 guard lineup of that Amazon team. So Durin, not going to be an easy fight, but luckily it is an Amazon team, so we are going to be reluctantly choosing Durin to win this matchup. And even though Amazon's boy went with the guard and the frenzy, I mean, it's going to take some very careful position here. You don't want to get your guys surfed, and you surely don't want to get outbashed by an Amazon team, but it definitely could happen with the blotch blitzers and with the guard. I mean, it's just going to be a bit of a steamroll, perhaps, for this Amazon team. Now, True Blue taking on this Chaos Dwarf team. What? I never thought I'd see that there would be a Chaos Dwarf team in there, but I mean, it's gonna be one of those things where somebody had to go for the Chaos Dwarves. Might as well be this guy, and it might as well be playing against a Norse team. So obviously the question here is always going to be the concern when you're playing the Norse team. Will my armor value 7 break, or will it stand up against a Chorf team? But I guess luckily the Chorfs won't have a lot of skills there to get to face up against the might of the Norse team, where they usually have the Mighty Blow on them and can possibly kill this Norse team. But let's take a look here. This Chaos Dwarf here, Waste Hill Miners, Tor 3005 coming out from the MML. It does have the Bull Centaur, and actually going to rely on a Bull Centaur ball carrier with the sure hands and the break tackle. I really like this if he was playing against a if he was playing against a Wood Elf team, but I don't like it against a Norse team, because the Norse, well, as you can see, there's the Bull Centaur does not have block. So the ball carrier is susceptible to getting hit from guys with block. And guess what? The Norse has nothing but block. Not only that, Bull Centaur here does have block here, but unfortunately his ball carrying friend does not. Does have a Chaos Dwarf blocker with guard, and likely going to build guard for the rest of his guys, but it may be all too late. Does have a Minotaur just to throw some help in there, but with just 2 rerolls and the APO, it's just, what are we getting ourselves into? And so luckily it does have to just face off against this 1 Minotaur, and if the Minotaur comes online for the Chaos Dwarf team, then Mr. Norse team may be in trouble. But Norse team comes inherent with lots of block, and hell, even put 1 block on the Elf Warrior just in case, and luckily he's going to be glad that he does, because Elf Warriors, Berserkers, they're kind of like a corn team in which you have to watch out and not position your guys close to the sidelines, because if you get base to base with the Elf Warrior and then get pushed to the sideline and then get followed up by a Berserker, then ouch, that could be the killer right there. No guard or anything though, but facing up against a Chaos Dwarf team which nary a single guard, and so Chaos Dwarfs not too much to deal with. Also block on both sides, so both down dice not going to be the issue. It's really going to come down to, will armor value 7 break? And Will the runner here be able to get the touchdown there? And luckily, the Norse team is not facing off against a Wood Elf team and does not have a sure hands, but may get one if he is going to be facing off against a Wood Elf team in the next bits. But is going against Chaos Dwarf team, and the runner is going to be getting that blodge here and can carry the ball against that very dangerous looking lineup. Bull Centaur actually going to be getting break tackle and sure hands for one of them, so he's not really a hitter. The other one is, but he's got just block. And again, guess what? Norse has nothing but block. Minotaur again might be the difference, but Norse, I mean, I like the Norse team. Call me crazy, guys, but I like them. And let's see here, 41% of the public also likes the Norse team as well. So there we go. Spartaco, Wood Elf team taking on this human team of Al Bundy. Spartaco being one of the best NAF coaches out there, and he will be back. Wood Elves here. This is going to be a normal matchup. Poke high for Al Bundy. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the team of Spartaco. Now Spartaco's Wood Elf team is actually going to be a little bit different than the rest of the Wood Elf team. So we'll have the tree men, but we'll have frenzy instead of tackle for the war dancer, and that's going to be a big difference. So any blodge teams that he's going to face up against will be a little bit more difficult for him because nobody's with tackle. But luckily for him, in the first round, he's facing off against a human team who doesn't have dodge. So, wow, I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. Good morning, Veliopia. Good morning. Well, it's late at night for me, and we're coming down to the conclusion. But good morning to you. As we are going to see the strip ball war dancer, will like that he's facing off his human team, and hopefully the human team did go with a thrower, but I don't see why you wouldn't go with a thrower. But does have the frenzy war dancer, and so can hopefully maybe once he blitzes the ball carrier, get that frenzy attack in there, push the ball carrier out, and then maybe be able to get a better time at the ball. Does have a wrestle lineman for the ball hawking, just in case some of the war dancers don't work out. Does have the leader. We'll have 3 rerolls, so Spartaco ready for some of the dicing that might happen. I really like this team. I mean, sure, he doesn't have a tackle war dancer, but it doesn't matter because of the first round matchup, who will be against the human team of Al Bundy, Pokai. Let's see here with the rest of the name here. Pokai Panthers of Al Bundy, and of course no dodge. Really, it does have the catchers, but I mean that's not going to be the thing that'll make or break this team. But the 3 guard here with this tackle blitzer, I mean, that's going to be nice. We'll have the block and the sure hands thrower. But this is Spartaco we're talking about here, and with the 3 rerolls could be able to make a little bit of a dent here against this human team. It is absolutely exotic, Juanian. Absolutely, but I mean, how can you go against Spartaco? I mean, Spartaco, though, he's not susceptible. We have seen him in the Champions Cup multiple times, and he had fallen short a couple times in his quest in trying to win a Champions Cup. He did make it through to the grand finals and actually lost to Veliopia with his necromancy team, but still, I mean, he's a pretty darn good coach. Will he lose again to a human team? I don't know. I don't know if I want to say that he loses very often, but he can, and this is the team to do it. 3 guard block here. Doesn't need to worry too much about that war dancer. I mean, if the human team outlasts this war dancer aggression, then he may be okay. I just don't know. I just don't know. But it's madness to choose against Spartaco. So we are just on the strength of the man, we're going to pick the Wood Elf team. Just on the mere strength. But I think normally I would have chosen this human team for the win. I know, it's, I know the man. I know the myth, the legend. Oh, yes. Spartaco, second to last in the World Cup, top 4 at least, yeah. NAF, you know, number 2 in the world last year with the war dance. I mean, with the Wood Elf team. Wintros. Now, finally, we're gonna have a Wood Elf mirror, and so basically, it's gonna be one of those games in which who is going to outlast who the most. Chelsea Zola from the Xbox Wood Elf team, and he is the luckiest team ever. So Wintros against Chelsea Zola. Let's take a look here. The luckiest team ever. So earlier the luck Xbox, and now we're the luckiest team ever. Oh, and I forgot. Round 2 here of this little bit here. So I said that Durin and True Blue is going to be making it past, and unfortunately, boy, you know, I'm not going to say that the Norse team doesn't have this one, but at least he's got lots of block for this Orc team to be very annoyed with. But Durin, you know, if he doesn't handicap himself, he often does. He should be able to win this one just on strength alone, but not to say that True Blue doesn't have a chance there, but Durin should be able to win it just on his abilities alone, and then face off against Adan's dwarf team. So Durin, if he doesn't make it to the round of 3, I will be seriously disappointed, and I'm unfollowing his. So I'm unfollowing from his Twitch channel. That's what I'm saying. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so now Wintros taking on Wintros taking on Chelsea Zola. So again, nothing crazy here, but here we're gonna have Frenzy with the tackle War Dancer. What am I seeing here? And this is gonna be a very, very interesting match here, because War Dancer with tackle and Frenzy is actually a nice matchup to have against the Wood Elf team that he'll be facing up against, possibly. But the tackle and the Frenzy maybe be able to take out some of these catchers that's going to be a little bit more pesky, and still going to have the tree on his side and the strip ball. So let's just take a look here at the other team of Chelsea Zola, and I think Chelsea Zola's team is pretty much the same as all the rest. But he will have the difference here of a strip ball and tackle War Dancer. So this is also going to be an interesting team here. It's going to be tree on tree, 3 catchers as well, but 2 rerolls and a leader. So Chelsea Zola a little bit more prepared for getting the dicings, but Frenzy with tackle, but this one here with strip ball and tackle. I know people are absolutely weirding me out a little bit with the Frenzy War Dancers, but I mean, I like it and I don't like it at the same time, right? Because the nice thing is that you face off against another Wood Elf team or a human team and even undead team or whatever, and you're gonna have a good shot at getting the ball out. But now it's just like you're putting 2 skills on there already, you're maxing them out, and now you're gonna be maybe facing off against other teams in which quite possibly you can't be more versatile with your team and get more skills on top of what the War Dancer might need. But I suppose all you really need is tackle, and all you really need is strip ball, right? But this is kind of limit things a little bit. I mean, maybe a strip ball with the wrestle would have been a little bit better, right? I mean, that would have made a very dangerous War Dancer right there. And you put tackle and strip ball, also going to still be dangerous, but you know, if they don't have blodge and they just have normal skills, then you're kind of wasting the tackle a little bit. But I think all things being equal, and as I said before, all things being equal, skill-wise and team-wise and everything, and this kind of is it. I mean, if you boil it down to just Nuffle, Wintros might be in a little bit extra troubles, but Wintros is Wintros. And even though he may be the luckiest team ever, I don't know if he is not that bad, right? I mean, he's not that bad. But Tackle and Frenzy, I like this a lot. But just 2 rerolls. Just 2 rerolls. If anything, this is going to be definitely a high-flying match. It's going to be like 4-3 by the end of the game. But I think I am just going to choose the guy with the extra reroll. I mean, and just... I'm just going to boil it down to... I don't know too much about either coach, but so let's just say they have the same skills, same team, basically. Almost with the Frenzy, but I mean... I'm just going to go with the... Fable Legends of Chelsea Zola. Although I was a little bit unimpressed with him on the cross-platform cut. So Wintros maybe just be able to take it out with skill and skill alone, but still, I mean, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna go for it. Just what I see here on paper. Crystal Hunter. Taking. Oh, let's go ahead and take a look here at the second round brackets, though. Wintros. Oh man, this is a tough choice there, but again, Spartaco, he will move on, and if he faces against Chelsea Zola, and if you put skill versus skill, sure, yeah, the luck factor might come into play there, but again, since I do know the skill here, Spartaco in that mirror matchup should be able to move on there and go to the round of 3. So that's going to be my pick here. I mean, whether or not Wintros makes it almost is kind of moot, which you face off against Spartaco, a very dangerous coach there to play against. Crystal Hunter, Dutch Quality Gaming, Lean Green Machine. So the other orc team. Will there be some Dutch Quality Gaming guys? Crystal Hunter's human team. And of course I do like Crystal Hunter's team there. Does have the natural, but he's going to go with the Ogre with the block and guard. I like that a lot. And instead of going with the tackle and the mighty blow, going with the mighty blow on one and the tackle on the other, and then going to have the guard. Splitting the skills up here, not necessarily my favorite, but I do like the thinking here. Maybe they're going to spread out the field, and then I'll be able to have one guy that's dangerous still with the mighty blow, and the other guy that's still dangerous with the tackle. So if I'm facing off against a wood elf team, or maybe just the elven team in general, I can do some damage either way. But splitting up the skills does mean that you have less chances for the mighty blow to activate, and may cut down on the success rate of taking down some of these more dangerous teams. But unfortunately, or fortunately really, he's facing up against an orc team. And the orc team doesn't have too many guys with the dodge, and so I guess the mighty blow and tackle on one guy is not going to be too wasted. It does have tackle on one of them though, but still. Lean and green for Yasmir. But his blitzer is going to have tackle and mighty blow, and the catchers are going to be a little bit in danger, so that's going to be the difference here. And Yasmir does have 2 guard blitzers to help out on the front line, but the humans will be able to just barely outbash him, and the thrower likely to have the ball. Still going to have a troll, but the ogre is going to have more skills than the troll, so the big guys up front, it's going to be handed to the ogre instead of this troll. The black orcs there. This is not going to be an easy match whatsoever for this human team of Crystal Hunter, but if anyone could do it, it'd be that guy there. But for I think for now, I think I like a little bit more the human team. I like that he went with the block ogre with the guard, but the difference though, right, is that if the ogre boneheads a lot, then he's going to drop the tackle zones, and then the guard and the block is useless. So he kind of wasted 2 of his skills right there, and then at that point the orcs will be able to equalize, right, and they'll still be able to have his 4 skills online, and 4 skills versus 4 skills of humans. Well, that right there is pretty devastating. But this is tough. This is a tough one. this is a tough one. I think the more I talk about it, the more I like this orc team, but I'm going to go with Crystal Hunter's human team. I'm going to bank on the fact that the ogre does not bonehead a lot in the competition, and then will be able to pull off the W. So Crystal Hunter, got my vote there, buddy. And so the 66% of the people. Alkalak, the Dwarven team, taking on the human team of Ever. And Ever, also one of those coaches that qualified with a couple of tickets there. And we'll be playing a human team. Pomorski Troll, taking on Aragon Stores. Pomorski. And it's going to be the Dwarven team, and we'll have guard on the 2 blitzers and 1 on the Longbeard. Does have to block on the runner just in case of those darn little wood elf teams. And 3 rerolls, no APO though. So dropping the APO and going with the extra Longbeard, and I guess that's not too bad, I think, because one of those things where the Longbeard could actually, the extra Longbeard could be a little bit better than just having the extra APO, but we'll see though. Sometimes those KOs, you just want to get out of them. 2 cheerleaders and a coaching assistant, and not putting in the fan factor, so a bit of an interesting choice here from this Dwarven team. And face against Aragorn, and I guess luckily though the dwarves 3 guard on them, 3 guard for the human team, so one of those things in which it's about equal up on the front line. Mighty Blow might activate for him, so no APO to worry about, but you gotta be worried about this human team. At least does have the ogre in the front line with the block, but I think in this case here, boy, Ever might be up against it. However, with the dwarf team taking the 2 cheerleaders and 2 coaching or 1 coaching assistant, that kind of says to me, boy, why didn't you just put it in the fan factor? I don't know. Again, the fame would have been a little bit more useful here, a little bit more, and so I'm just gonna go on a limb here and just say humans. I like them a little bit more here against that Dwarven team, just a little bit. And really, if the Dwarven team didn't take the cheerleaders and the coaching assistant, I probably would have went for the dwarf team instead. But there you have it, humans. I like them a little bit more. But heck, I'm gonna eat my words, right? Like 54%, and not only that, the 2 cheerleaders, a whole bunch of what is it, cheering fans and brilliant coaching is gonna come out, and I'll be eating my words. Look at all these rerolls that I got, haha. Here's gonna be finally another human mirror. We've seen what wood elf mirror, and then earlier a human mirror. So even though there's loads of humans and loads of wood elves, not too many mirror matches in the first round. And I'm actually kind of glad for that. Really glad for that. But it's gonna be Steve taking on Kabusta. Steve Kabusta. Oh, let's take a look at round 2 though. So Crystal Hunter going on and facing off against human team of Aragon Stars, and so oh boy, this is a tough matchup right here, and I do believe they are about the same, right? Mighty Blow tackle, right? And for, I mean, actually Crystal Hunter split up Mighty Blow and then tackle on another guy, right? And that actually might work out, because then you don't have all your skills on one guy, but it's about the same when you think about it, I guess. But boy, this is just gonna come down to Nufflin, who has the worst looking team name. So Aragorn Stars, or the luckiest team ever, right? Is that no, his is the Dutch Quality Gaming. You know what? Dutch Quality Gaming, Aragorn Stars. We're just gonna call it. Oh boy, I kind of like both of these team names actually. Aragorn Stars. Who's Aragorn? I don't know who Aragorn is. So you know what? We like the Dutch Quality Gaming. We love the Dutch people. Crystal Hunter goes on to round 3 simply on his name. That's what's going on, guys. And then face off against Spartacus without team. That right there is going to be a very good matchup between those 2. I don't know who's going to win that one. You call me crazy, but maybe humans. Hey. Hopefully by then the humans will be able to put some stuff on the thrower to make them a little bit more, or a little bit less susceptible to those wood elf dive-ins. But frenzy in there, ooh, it's gonna be tough. Steve on Kabusta, human mirror matchup. And Ramas versus Humansky Rybitsky or whatever. Let's see here. Ramas for Steve. Pirate Steve. Pirate Steve. Arr. The Black Ogre, of course, 3 guard, and then the normal here, and then did go with the Black Thrower, so I like that right there. And I believe they're just mirror right here, but I think they are a little bit different. Kabusta's Humanskis, so let's go for Hum. And yes, they are going to be a little bit different here. Tackle, Mighty Blow there, and then 2 guard blitzers, and then the block catcher, the blodge catcher actually. So as you can see there, the difference here, less guard on the side, so could get a little bit outbashed, but does have the tackle and the Mighty Blow on that blitzer. That could be the difference right here, because the other human team actually opted to go with tackle, then 3 guard. And so this blitzer could come into handy and could take out some of these extra catchers on the other side. So I think I like Kabusta's setup here as the human Busta. So Kabusta, got my vote there, buddy. Humansky Rybki. Humansky Rybki. And I believe that's Polish. I believe I looked it up as well, making sure that they're all legal in the names. Mr. Marvel, the Dwarven team, taking on the human team of Arzawain. Arzawain winning a ticket from the Invitational, proving that he is a pretty darn good coach to make it past the vampires. And then another human team. Was it? No, orc team though, I should say. Orc and then a vampire. And then losing it finally to a human team. But it's going to be facing off against dwarfs. Mr. Marvel. The Bearded Bazooka. And Unos y Calaveras. Alright, it's Mr. Marvel's team. Let's take a look at you, buddy. Let's take a look at you. 2 guard here for the Longbeards. I like that. Mighty Blow Blitzer. And then the block Longbeard. Block Runner there. 3 rerolls, no APO, 4 Fan Factor. And did instead go with the extra Longbeard there. So that's kind of the difference here. People just getting the extra Longbeard, dropping the APO, and then taking the extra Fan Factor. I like that for the dwarves a lot here from Mr. Marvel. And then let's take a look here. What's the other team name here for the other guy? Unos y Calaveras. Okay. I just said it just a second ago. You'd think I'd remember, but it's starting to get late for me, guys. Arzawain. And I believe he's brought his same team there with the 3 guard, but this one here, the difference, the Mighty Blow tackle and the block here. So it's gonna be tough because of the fan factor, and so Arzawain's gonna find himself losing out on a few more rerolls here and there if it comes down to that. But Arzawain, 4-time PS4 Champions Cup winner, right? I mean, not just once, not just twice, not just 3 times, but 4 times. And not only that, back to back to back to back. You gotta believe that it's not gonna be easy for this Dwarven team. I'll tell you that much. And how can I go for? How can I deny the Spanish Inquisition? The Bearded Bazooka may just go down, and I think I like the human team here just because I like Arzawain. I like Arzawain. But Blitzer there with the Mighty Blow, I like that too. That could come in handy, but Arzawain. I like him. I like the name, right? I mean, heck, I want to name my kids Arzawain now. So of course, human mirror matchup. And Humansky Rybki. And again, I liked the human matchup here. There's a little bit of a difference there for the human team. I mean, that could be a good difference there for the catcher, getting that nice little blodge skill to help out against the humans. But I don't know. Again, I don't know anything about Kabusta, and so Arzawain's got my pick. So I'm just do it. I'm just say that Arzawain's gonna win the round 2 and then move on. The Besa. Almost picked the Bretonian team, but went with the human team, but is going to be pleased to see another human matchup there for his team there. So let's go ahead and put that in there. The Besa. I like this team here. The Guard Ogre, and then the Blodge Catcher, and then the Guard Blitzer, and then the Mighty Blow and Tackle Blitzer. So I'm going to go with less guard for his team, and he's not going to be pleased to see a bunch of guys on the other side of the ball. But just like we saw Kabusta with the Blodge Catcher, this could be the difference. But does have the Tackle and Mighty Blow Blitzer here to help out against the other side of the ball. And he is going to be playing against a human team of Noblisa Ivalor. So let's go ahead and put that in. I know, so many humans infesting this tournament. WTF. And of course the natural, the Ogre with the block, the Mighty Blow Tackle Blitzer. So just so normal here. And the nice thing is that the Blitzer here with the Tackle Mighty Blow can deal with those catchers with Blodge. But I mean, can they win it outright? That's the question. So again, this really comes down to Nuffle and how well I like each other's team name. And you know what I'm gonna say? I like the Besa here. I think he's a little bit more strong in the ways of Blood Bowl. So we're gonna take the Besa. And then Yagul, Pupak just getting in from the Invitational, where Bernie Buffin did actually win a ticket from the Champions Cup in the PlayStation. So Pupak gotta be thanking Bernie Buffin at this point. But not for long. He's gonna be playing against Yagul's Wood Off team. So let's see here. Burning Woodies and then Plan Capkin. Alright, brackets go away. Okay, so now we're gonna see, of course, the tackle and then the strip ball, war dance is the normal, but the sidestep catcher! So the difference here is that this makes one turning with this catcher a little bit easier, huh? So unlike some of the other Wood Elf teams that did not go with sidestep, this guy did. So the catch-up is there, but only, what, one team reroll and does have leader for that thrower. This makes this thrower a grade A target for the other side, and you better believe the Necros have guys that can just use those werewolves to great effect. And if he has a tackle of Mighty Blow werewolf, he's going to be quite pleased, but instead he's going to have a tackle white and then a Mighty Blow werewolf and then the block werewolf instead. So unfortunately doesn't have a tackle Mighty Blow to take advantage here and maybe kill that thrower, but can still blitz him down with a werewolf and with the claw reduce that armor value down to 7 and make things a little bit easier. So kind of give take, but I do like Pupak a little bit more in this case because of the... Oh, I'm sorry, the claw does not activate. So but let's see here. But I mean, it's just gonna be one of those things where the werewolves could take them out, but Wood Elves didn't have to worry about the claw though. And the Mighty Blow's on the guy without block even, so he may actually get punked up. So I think I like Yagul's Wood Elf team a little bit more. So sorry Pupak. Grand opening, grand closing. And there we go. Sam T taking on TYS123, Amazon team. Yes, Queens. You know how well, look at this actually, 39%. Wow, look at that. I feel like I'm picking the losers here. Oh, but here we go. Take a look at the round 2 here on this. So Steve taking on Kabusta. So Kabusta I said would win, and Arzo, yeah, I like Arzo in there. And then Yagul facing off against the Baser, and humans taking on Wood Elves, and hopefully humans will be able to shore up the thrower. And so, you know, I'm gonna say it. Even though I've been taking the Wood Elf team, I'm gonna take humans just to be a little bit different here, so the Baser will be able to move on. Just because I feel like I've been taking too many Wood Elves lately. Amazon taking on High Elf team. We're down to our last 4 games here, guys. Wow, this has been a long cast. Queens. So Amazon team, again, one of those teams in which I'm a little bit surprised they're not being taken more, but I guess people didn't want to play with Amazon with just 4 skills. But again, 4 team rerolls, 4 fan factor, right? I mean, that is a really nice setup. And then the Raj line woman, and then does have the 2 guard blitzers, and then one of them with Mighty Blow. I like that a lot. I mean, this is just so nice to have. I mean, this is why the Amazon team was considered a tier 1 team right here, because of all the stuff they could really get from the beginning. And he's going to be pleased to see that he's facing off against a High Elf team in TYS. So TYS, and let's take a look. What's his team name here? Old Timers, B&T Old Timers. So the other High Elf team, there is a second High Elf team. We'll be pleased to see that he's facing off here against this team, and only 1 fan factor. That's not going to help out too much. And then the thrower with the leader. So I mean, will have 4 rerolls himself, but kind of sacrificing a little bit. Luckily does have a tackle and Mighty Blow blitzer to deal with the Amazon women. Does have a Blodge blitzer as well, and then 2 more Kessers to come in. So this High Elf team, definitely not one of those games in which is a done deal for the Amazon team. But oh man, the High Elves, oh man, this is gonna be a good matchup for them as well. I mean, Amazon team, but the blitzer with the Mighty Blow and tackle, that could be the difference here. And I think I'm gonna like Sam T's High Elf team, and it's also just to be a little bit different here. Amazon's looking quite good there with the fan factor and all that. 4 rerolls, but High Elf's also with 4 rerolls, and gonna still have to tackle Mighty Blow to deal with the Amazon women. Yeah, I'm gonna like them a little bit more here. The Sam T's High Elf team. Let's go back though real quick at Pupak and all that other stuff there. So Pupak here, actually, Pupak here is, let's see, Yagu is going to be facing up against the Baser, and then, oh yeah, the Baser, I said the Baser, so I did already do that. It's getting kind of late here. Sam T going to move on, High Elves, and then Andy Dowell taking on Bernie Buffin's human team. And of course, boy, I looked at this team up and down, but I've said it before, pre-tournament, Andy Dowell, one of the favorites to win it, and with good reason. He's the hottest coach right now to go around. And just to briefly take a look at his team. Andy Davo, it's all about meme, and does have Blodge for the blitzers, the Raj Witch Elf, but the Witch Elf here with no skills, possibly just going to pick up some more skills a little bit later on. Does have the runner, 2 rerolls, Apo, I mean the hottest guy around, right? And PC versus console coach auto win. Yes, you are absolutely right, Johanian. You're absolutely right. But Bernie Buffin, also a pretty hot coach. Feel the burn. Bernie Buffin coming off the Invitational and the Champions Cup, in which he's won the Champions Cup in the PS4 and then went on to the Invitational and won that too. So you gotta believe he's feeling quite confident. Does still have to tackle Mighty Blow, but this time reneged on the 2 Mighty Blow and tackles and went with the 3 guard. But he's gonna be a little bit sore to see that he's gonna be facing off against a Dark Elf team with lots of Blodge and a Witch Elf with the Raj. So he's gonna be like, damn it, I knew I should have took the tackle Mighty Blow. with the second guy. But I mean, this is going to be a tough match here for both coaches. And Bernie Buffin, boy, he's played outstanding in his games. I mean, finding a push combination to get the hits in with his guys. I mean, just looking so good and so threatening. You can't count out Bernie Buffin, but man, can I go against the hot man, Andy Davo? Boy, I cannot see a round 1 loss for either of these coaches, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take the Dark Elf team, and really, it's not because of Andy Davo, and it's not because it's Bernie Buffin. It's not because of the PC versus, console auto win or anything like that, or it's just because I like Dark Elves. I've been picking against the Dark Elf team for too long. We're taking the Dark Elves this time, and he's gonna face off against the High Elf team, and they're Dark Elves versus High Elves, and the Dark Elves has the slight better of it, I think. Ooh, that's still going to be a tough match, though, because still more tackle might be able to contend with there. But, oh, man, I have to say that, I mean, I just can't see Andy Davo going out early and going out this soon. But these are not easy matches whatsoever between any of these players here. So, Andy Davo in tough brackets here is going to be going on, I do believe, into the round of 3. But just... And it's only because I'm being biased for Dark Elves, guys. I just love Dark Elves. And now the last 2 games, again, in a tough bracket. Chapsu and Ornan, I mean, they got to be looking around like, wow. But Ornan, a pretty good coach himself, did qualify in the Rebel. And Chapsu, I mean, they're all good coaches in their own right? If you qualify for the World Cup, right, you beat out thousands of coaches trying to get in. So... one of those things in which you can't hang your head low. You made it into World Cup. 32 people are going to win, 32 people are going to lose, and there's just no shame in losing at this point. But obviously, who wants to go out early? Nobody, right? But the greatest Quebec noobs taking on Rebel Rampage. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the last couple of games there. Quebec noobs, Chapsu. And it is going to be a Wood Elf team, force tackle, and the strip ball, but kick for the thrower with the leader there. So a very important thrower, and actually going to be taking both the skills straight off the back. So if he's facing off against another Wood Elf team, won't be able to put like sure hands on him, won't be able to put block on him or anything like that. So he's going to have to just deal with trying to score early and score fast. But luckily, I guess not facing off against another Wood Elf team. It's going to be facing off against the human team. But kick and leader, that's an interesting combination. Quite interesting. I don't know if I would have chosen both the kick and leader right there. I don't blame him for taking the kick, but there's just something to be said about having a second skill open for your thrower. And he's going to be taking on the Rebel Rampage of Ornan. And it's going to start off with the Mighty Blow and the piling on, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, guys. Finally, somebody did it, and it might as well just be this guy. And we'll be pleased to be going against the Wood Elf team. So not just once, but twice. And that is a huge percentage to take out Wood Elves with the piling on and the Mighty Blow. I believe I've done it before. About 63% chance of breaking the armor and then taking them out with an injury. So I mean, it is so dangerous for this Wood Elf team. So dangerous. So I mean, I have to say this human team looks a little bit better than the Wood Elf team, simply because he went on a limb and took piling on Mighty Blow, and he got paid off with the first round match. That's pretty nice. Ornan, you madman. What are you doing to my face right now? It's just so contorted due to the... What? But there you have it. I like it a lot. I really do. I don't care what the 62% of the other people like. And then last but not least, Jimmy Fantastic Wood Elf team. Unfortunately, taking on the Dwarf team. And as I said before, any Wood Elf team that's facing off against a Dwarf in the first round is definitely got to be feeling the heat. One of the biggest things here. You don't want to face him in the first round. Maybe second or third round. At least you get a couple of skills here and there to deal. But facing him in the first round, just so difficult. Wow. Gonna have to deal with all that tackle. And normally dwarves not being able to take lots of guard there to shore up the front line, but I mean, what are you gonna do? Blood Bowl is coming home, but it may not come home to it may not come home to Jimmy Fantastic. An absolute tough matchup, and right here this red cross actually is going to be a prelude to things to come. No APO here, and I mean, it's just one of those things. 2 rerolls gonna have a leader there, but no APO could end up biting him in the butt, and that's the risk he took when he did not choose the APO to start off with. But what else are you gonna do, right? You have to give up something if you want the tree man. And there we go. Diren, did I pick you? Yes, I did. And not only that, but I picked you to go to the third round, baby. And so, falling short of that, I will be quite disappointed, Durin. If you don't make the money, I'm unfollowing your channel. That's just it. Absolutely unfollowing. But there you go. Jimmy Fantastic, opting to go with a tree, drop the APO. I mean, it's one of those things where, again, a little bit of an unhappy choice, but one in which he's going to have to live with. It is a resurrection tournament, but boy, not being able to take the APO, that's definitely got to hurt when you're facing up against a dwarf team. Luckily, though, it is against Ashigal. And Ashigal, I don't really know too much about him, but he'll definitely be pleased to be facing off against a Wood Elf coach. Guardians of Ashigal. And he will have the 3 guard. No mighty blow or anything like that, so at least Jimmy don't have to worry about that right there. And if they don't break armor, then Jimmy will be in for a good time. But man, if they do, wow, lots of tackle, lots of guard here. Dwarves may end up overrunning the Wood Elf team, and we may see what we saw where Anarian had to face up against the human team, and he just got wrecked. I mean, absolutely got wrecked and had no chance by the end. So I don't like picking against Jimmy, but he's in for it here. But you know what? I'm gonna pick him anyways, guys. Jimmy Fantastic! No! All of these guys will be alright by the end of the contest. No mighty blow to speak of for this Dwarven team. Wood Elves are gonna win it and make it pass. So Jimmy Fantastic taking on Ornan's team, and again, that mighty blow and piling on. Wow, for the humans. Another bash happy team. But I think Jimmy F, if he doesn't go to the round of 3, I'll be a little bit disappointed. But I can't blame him if he falls in the first round. But man, whoever's going to be facing up against that human team is going to have a little bit happier time. If the dwarves make it past and the humans do, then it's going to be one of those things where, oops, I took piling on mighty blow against an armor value 9 team. But yeah, let's just see. I think Jimmy Fantastic should come out from the brackets, but I mean, that's just I think that's just my my optimism showing there. And that's it, guys. And I don't know, the predictions, why aren't the predictions working? I'm gonna have to figure this out. Maybe because it's the votes. Let me check the settings here. Well, guys, Death Roller to win the World Cup. Awesome. Should I do this here? Maybe because I have the voting. No, you can vote and do the bracket predictions, I thought. Predictions and voting. I mean, it should be there. I don't know. Maybe I gotta save the settings. I don't know. Tournament settings? Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Well, I guess I have to figure it out. I'm not sure why the predictions aren't on. Oh, you know what? Maybe the predictions aren't on because I started the tournament. I might have to restart the tournament. No, then the voting won't be on. I don't know. I think it had to be done before the tournament starts. That's why the predictions aren't working. Damn it. Well, I can't restart the tournament, I don't think. So, no predictions available, I believe. Maybe I can change it. Well, guys, it has been a pleasure. Thanks for coming out and watching it. Wow, 2 hours and 15 minutes. Again, guys, if you're watching after the fact here on YouTube or actually in the chat and you like what you see here, please hit that follow button, hit that subscribe, and hopefully we'll see some more World Cup action. I'm going to cast it as we go along during the week. As people play it, I'm going to put it up, and we're going to watch it together. And with that, this is the end of the line. This is the VG Pierce, and hopefully I'll see you guys for more Blood Bowl action, more role-playing, strategy, and survival games to come on my channel. And I'll see you guys next time!